Good morning, traders. How's it going? All right, everybody. Thank you for tuning in. As always, today should be a fantastic day. All right, we should have a lot of stocks to trade. Hey, Ann, how's it going? John, good morning. Today should be a very good day. There's a lot of stuff moving. Today is a great day with all the stocks that have had earnings, whether after hours or pre-market today. So there's a lot moving right now, and that's exactly what we want as traders. We want a lot of things moving. Today is a day where a lot of things are moving. Everything in the headline of this video are all of my main stocks that I'll be focusing on. There's a ton more stocks. There's a plenty other stocks are having earnings that might also have good days. But Facebook, PayPal, XLNX, AMD, and Qualcomm for me are going to be like the main top stocks that I will focus on throughout today for trading. There should be a lot of volatility, and we'll talk about all of them. So let's get into it. I'm going to start sharing the screen. So just give me about a couple seconds here, and then we'll get rocking and rolling. For any of you guys, I don't know if any of you guys seen my video that I uploaded yesterday about the live trading day, making 500 bucks. Is that something that you guys liked me uploading? That was just kind of a clip of, well, for one, what it's like in our live trading room when we're in real time. But is that something that you guys would like me to continue to do? That one was 40 minutes long. I don't want them to be 40 minutes long. I just so happen to make that one 40 minutes long. So I might make it just like the first 10, maybe first 15 minutes of trading live in the day, so that the videos are a little bit shorter, so that there's not as much kind of intermediate blank pause time in between trades. So you don't have to sit there for 40 minutes watching a video, even when I'm not trading and things like that. So I will try my best to continuously upload those and keep those coming. So that way, you guys can learn from them. And then if you would like to jump into our live trading room after seeing kind of what it's like firsthand, you can choose to do so. And then also what's cool about that is when I do upload those, it also shows the scanners on the bottom. And if you watch the video, you'll see the stocks start to pop up as alerts on the scanners on the bottom of that screen and then in the video. And you can go back and you can look at the stocks, or you can kind of cross-reference from the timestamp of when the alerts on the scanners come through. And then you can look at it on your own stock chart and go like, okay, this stock was alerted on the scanners Connor had at this time, and it started popping up at this time, so that way you can kind of see what the scanners that I use are like. And that's also kind of what you get when you're in the private room. And if you just wanted to join trade ideas in general, you can kind of get a feel for what those scanners can do for you, right? So with that being said, now I will share the screen. All right, cool. All right, shake off the shakes. Let's get going. All right, so that's good. All right, we're gonna start here with Facebook. Why not start with Facebook? It's the #1 stock that everyone's gonna watch today. So off the top of my head, I was reading it last night. I think they missed earnings by like 8%, or they missed revenue by like 8% or something. I could be wrong. I did a quick brief run through last night. Haven't had enough time to go through it today. I think they missed earnings or revenue beat by like 8%. And then their guidance dropped by 20%. So they basically just got crushed in all aspects of their earnings. And as you can see, they went from 219 to a low of 164 in after hours trading. Right now, we're hovering around this 170s price point. All right. So, okay. Sorry about that. All right, there we go. Volume is on Zoom as well. So again, right, I think Facebook missed revenue by like 8%. I could be wrong. Again, I did a quick run through last night. But I know they missed guidance by about 20%, or their guidance expectation is, down by 20%. So all in all, their earnings was just absolute shit. They basically just got ran over. They got hit by a train straight in the forehead. And as you can see, it went from 219 to a low of 164. And now it's hovering around this 175, 172 price point, okay? I absolutely hate trading Facebook. Facebook is like Facebook, Apple, what else? Facebook, Apple, and Micron are like my top 3 hated stocks of trading. I really hate trading. The only time I will really trade Facebook, Apple, or MU is if they're seeing extreme volatility and volume. If not, then I just hate trading them. But considering Facebook gap down from 219 to 164, of course I'm going to trade it. I have to trade it. It makes sense for me to trade it because it's seeing extreme volume and extreme volatility this morning, right? So, and that's some news I didn't know. So apparently someone is also saying, Joey Falcon here is saying that China pulled licensing on Facebook. So not that I know what that all means. It doesn't sound good. All right. So Facebook gapping down, right? Take a look at the yearly chart. Let's go through this. I have not even gone through the yearly chart, guys. This is my first run through this is the first time I've even looked at Facebook and actually analyzed it today. So this is going through first pick with you guys, right? Haven't done any of this. All right. So the price of Facebook is what, like 170? It was 172. So if Facebook is 172 right now pre-market, that means we're right in this area. Okay. We have a previous support. I'm assuming, let's see, 170. So I like 172s, 170s right now. So the price is like right there. And if you look, Facebook has a pretty good support system right around this 170s area. See, like right there, 1, 2, 3, 4, consolidation around the 170s here. So all in all, Facebook has a pretty strong support system that has been built around the 170 price point. All right. So it would not surprise me to see Facebook hold up around this 170 price. Okay. It would not surprise me. Also, Facebook also dropped down to 164 in after hours trading. 164 would be right about there. Also, Facebook dropped to 164 in after hours trading, which is like right here. And as you can see, this was kind of a consolidation zone right there. This is all 164. Where I'm drawing this yellow arrows, this is all 164. All right, so it has a pretty good kind of consolidation, indecisive basing that took place right around the 164 area back when we had the ultimate scare with Facebook data scandal. All right, this dip here you're seeing on Facebook, this is when we had that data scandal with Facebook, with Cambridge Analytica. And so this big dip area is when we had that big scare with the data breach thing. And that is exactly where the price had dropped to in after hours trading when the earnings report came out. It dropped down right to about this 164 area. So all in all, this 164 area should be a pretty strong support system. Facebook has already dropped quite a bit. I personally don't see them dropping too much more. I think it's more susceptible to a bounce rather than an extreme sell-off. We've already had an extreme sell-off. This kind of reminds me of Netflix, right? So I think we're going to see a similar trading day that we did when Netflix had their earnings, all right? So I think what we're actually going to see here on Facebook is we're going to see Facebook probably trickle out a little bit more here pre-market, but the way that I will probably look to play it would be the same way that I was watching Netflix. I would watch this for a bounce. I would watch Facebook to bounce up towards the 180 price and then maybe look to short with a stop loss just above the previous kind of pre-market high right there. See that pre-market high Facebook has you see the high that Facebook has pre-market. So what you want to do here, right, is there's a couple ways we can trade this. If Facebook is going to go red, it usually, these gap downs will usually spike up and test some of these previous resistance marks pre-market, which has one at 180. It has one at 185, and it has another significant one here at 194. Okay, but it also has a pre-market low 164. So what I'm really looking for here is I am still short bias, but I'm not going to leave out the idea that Facebook could in fact go long and start bouncing and breaking through these levels like we've seen Netflix do. All right. So I'm going to look to watch Netflix short today and long. I'm playing it both ways. So if it drops down to this 164, so if Facebook does come all the way back down to the pre-market low of 164, the bell rings and it can't break through 164, I am going to take it long, anticipating it's going to bounce all the way back up towards the 180s, and then maybe we kind of have a rollover action, okay? That's what I'm looking for, is for it to kind of roll over today. So if it holds support down here at the pre-market low, I'm going to look to long it, okay? I like the short setup better if it does not drop to 164. I'd rather short it if it can hold up here at about 172s and then bounce up to here, hit that level, and then reject, okay? Because if Facebook did drop all the way to 164 and then bounce all the way up to 180 or even 185, that would be a strong bounce. That means a lot of people are starting to buy it up, which scares me to think that it actually will roll over. So keep the 180s, 185 marks open for a potential short entry. Watch the 164 levels for a bounce, okay? And then even this 172 area was a kind of a support area. We even watched this long. If it can't break 172, it might squeeze up off that level up towards the 180s and 185s, right? So that's my approach there on Facebook. Most likely looking for a dip buy and then for a short. I'm probably not going to be short bias to start. I'd be short bias after maybe a bounce first. Now on to the next one. All right, on to the next one. All right, here we go. What is the next one? Next one, we'll talk about PayPal. So PayPal had earnings too, and they dropped from 91 down to 85. So all in all, they had about a $5 gap down. Right now, it's kind of hovering right in this price point. So personally, I am thinking short bias on PayPal. What's the price? The price of PayPal is $87.40. So it's right about there, which is also holding. So PayPal kind of has like a support system built right on this this $86 level right there. 86, close to 87, there's a support system. Now, I think it's possible that we're going to see PayPal end up breaking down below the 87 price point and come back down to test pre-market lows. So what I would do is just kind of watch PayPal for a bounce off of the pre-market low, because look at it. It dropped and it bounced pretty significantly all the way up, and now it's kind of coming back down. So I would watch it for a bounce off of 165, come up, reject, and then short. So I am short bias on PayPal, but I would look for PayPal to actually bounce up first to kind of some of these key levels. And I'm trying to be as specific as I can with all of these. I just don't have enough time to give a 100% super detailed analysis on all of these stocks. So I would just look for PayPal to maybe first start dumping out, and then it bounces, and then you can short it, right? So I am thinking short bias on PayPal, but initially I would look to watch it drop, bounce, then short, okay? And I do think we're going to see PayPal have a red day here. I think we're going to see it continue down. So I'm not going to talk too much more there. I'm going to go to the next one. So Qualcomm QCOM is the next one. As you can see, QCOM is gapping up. This for me is going to be a long bias trade on the day. Would probably look, I think we're going to see it break over 64 and up to 65. the gap up is pretty big. So don't initially think to long this out of the gates. Actually watch PayPal for a dip buy closer towards 62 or closer towards 62.50. Actually, that's wrong. Do it towards like 62.60s. Okay. You can see here PayPal held like a little support there, and it had a little bit of like kind of supports right in this area, and then also had a support system down here at 62, which was also kind of a small pivot point, which is right there. So basically anywhere from 62 to 62.60s, 62.50s, that would probably be my entry long on PayPal. I'd watch for this thing to kind of roll over, drop, catch it right here, or catch it down here, and then look to long, because there's two ways that people are going to try and trade this. It's either long or short. People are thinking right now that Qualcomm is up pretty big, so we'll look to short it out of the gates. So there might be a quick little wash and a quick little short play that's then soon followed by a bounce, and it actually goes long. So I'm thinking Qualcomm long off the $62 price point area. Okay. Yeah, Qualcomm, not PayPal. Apologize. So watching Qualcomm long, probably around that $62 price point. Look at the yearly chart. So the yearly chart, 62, 64, 65. So 65, or sorry, $64 is a pretty good resistance. You can see here, all this resistance right around 64, okay? So 64, so 62 would be a good entry. Over 64 would be an area where we might see it pop and run because it's starting to get through some of this previous resistance. And then at that point, I think the target area would be somewhere around 66, and then even possibly the 52-week high here around 68, 69. So going to watch Qualcomm long off the 62 area. It should pop over 64. If it gets to 64 and over, should see a nice pop. Targets for me would be somewhere around 66, 68. Okay, on to the next one is XLNX. So I'm going to briefly touch on XLNX or XLX something. So I think you're probably going to see XLNX be a long bias trade today, but the volume on it is pretty low. But it doesn't mean that it won't have a good day. I've seen numerous stocks in the past couple of weeks that didn't have a ton of volume end up turning out to be pretty good. So I'm just going to mention, keep XLNX on your watch list for a potential long. It's gapped up, it's rolled over, and it might be soon into a good dip buy area for a long bias trade today. Okay. Last one on the watch list is AMD. All right. AMD earnings gapping up overnight, consolidating through after hours, and trickling up here today. That's a pretty strong sign that this is going to be a long bias trade on the day. So what I would do, is I'd watch AMD long for one. But two, I would look to buy AMD on a dip buy, probably around this price point of $16.80. AMD is probably a good dip buy around $16.80. The reason being, you can clearly see it had a support system built around 1680 and after hours trading multiple times. It tried to break 1680, failed to do so, and now it's starting to trend up. So I do think that we actually are going to see this kind of dip buy closer to 17 and then maybe even get as low as 1680. But I think it's going to be a strong dip buy. If you miss the dip buy, if for whatever reason you didn't buy the dip, it's very possible you're going to see AMD move higher on the day and actually break out probably around 1625 over the pre-market, over the aftermarket and pre-market highs. We might get the breakout buyers and momentum buyers over that key resistance level. So if you can, well, for one, if my thesis is correct and AMD does go long, if you get it on the dip, I would try and hold it until it approaches the pre-market high and the aftermarket high, because if it does and it still has strong buying pressure, what's going to happen is it's going to, for one, it'll squeeze any short sellers that got in at 1733 or any short sellers that got in around 1720s and have their stop loss there. It'll squeeze them out. And then we'll also get the momentum in breakout traders that are buying over the pre-market high. So there's going to be like a double push, almost like a double catalyst move over the pre-market highs and aftermarket highs, because you probably have some short sellers there. And then you'll also get the breakout buyer. So if you do, or if we can get a dip on AMD around that 1680s and it pushes up towards the pre-market highs, we'll squeeze out short sellers. We'll have new momentum buyers and breakout traders coming in that should catapult that price right up and over. There's no guarantee, but theoretically, if that move does happen, we should see a strong push over 1730 and 1720 areas because of the shorts and momentum traders there. But again, first watch for a dip buy entry on AMD. It's up pretty big. So again, there might be a small wash out of the gates where people are looking to take some profit on the big move up. If you look at a yearly chart, 1734 is the 52-week high. So this aftermarket high at 1733 is also the 52-week high. So if it can get over 1734, we'll now have a new 52-week high, and we should see this thing pop, I think. Okay. It can't hurt, Daniel. I mean, I don't know if it's going to have a 2-day continuation. It's always easiest to tell if a stock is going to have a 2-day continuation once we get closer to the end of the day. If AMD goes long and it stays up, right? If AMD goes long and it stays up and does not sell off, then yeah, it's probably something you might want to hold overnight. All right. Boom, boom, boom. All right, guys, those are all the stocks. Those are all the stocks that I'm watching. For me, it's oh my goodness. For me, it's an earnings play day. Whew, smokes. So for me, it's an earnings play day. I mean, you have AMD, you have Facebook, you have Qualcomm, you have PayPal. I mean, those are 4 stocks right there that you can make a lot of money on trading today. So only going to be trading those earnings stocks today, paying attention to my scanners, seeing if anything pops up, maybe a penny stock here, maybe a penny stock there. I'm not focusing on AWX because of the chart pattern that it's seen yesterday. It was a very big up and down spikes, back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. Not a fan of that. I only trade penny stocks when I know they're worthy of trading. All right. So that's another thing I'll talk about. A lot of people always like kind of ask me, or they're like, you know, you don't mention enough penny stocks, or you hardly trade penny stocks. And I'm not gonna lie, when I first started trading, I gravitated toward penny stocks. Most people do. And I can promise you, as you get a little bit more experience and you trade for a longer time, you will start to get away from penny stocks and go into bigger price stocks. For one, your capital will grow, and it makes sense to. But secondly, once you trade long enough, you'll realize that penny stocks very rarely are good to trade. What's going to happen is when you get a little bit more experience, the only time you'll trade a penny stock, like myself, is when they're worthy of trading. I'm not trying to trade a penny stock to make 10, 15, 20 cents a share. I mean, I do. I like, that's fine. But the only time I want to trade a penny stock is when they're going supernova. Like they're going from $1 to $4, right? $4 to $8. Because when they're moving that big, then they're good to play. What happens is a lot of times people get sucked into penny stocks, and here's the thing. Penny stocks are almost never good to trade. Occasionally we'll have a good penny stock, and that's when I'll trade it. I'll only trade a penny stock when I know it's good to trade. So if I'm not mentioning a penny stock, it's because I personally feel it's not a worthy trader for the day. If I do mention a penny stock, it's because I feel it's a worthy trade for the day. And if you guys looked at yesterday, I mentioned the stock. Which was the big stock that like went crazy yesterday morning? It went from 8 to 26. Does anybody remember that ticker from yesterday? It went from $8 to $26. Was it TORC? I think it was TORC. Yeah, let me look. I'll take a second. Yeah, it was TORC. So that was I consider that a penny stock still. I mean, I kind of consider that it had the same kind of pump push as a penny stock. So TORC went from 8 to 26. And I specifically told everybody not to buy it. I said, chances are you don't want to buy this and you want to short it. And what ended up happening? It ended up crashing exactly as I said. And you most likely would have wanted to short that stock. Some people that have Centerpoint Securities, maybe IB, some of those guys maybe would have had shares to short. And I said short it because chances are it's probably going to crash. If you would have listened to that, the profit potential went from 20 to a low of 12. So it was almost an 8-point move on that yesterday. So what I will mention is keep TORC on watch for today, tomorrow, and the next day, because eventually it's going to pop. Listen to this. I'm going to predict the future right here. Follow the stock TORC maybe today, maybe tomorrow, but follow it for the next 3 to 5 days, okay? Because there were so many people that probably shorted the stock that either tomorrow or today, tomorrow, or the next, they're going to have to cover their positions and they will cause a short squeeze and that stock will most likely pop. Is it going to pop $5, $10? I have no clue, but I can pretty much guarantee you will see TORC be one of the big morning pop runners, either possibly today, probably not, either today, tomorrow, or in a few days. Okay. Just watch for it. With that being said, I will see you guys all on the next video. So thank you guys once again for tuning in. Let's see. Yeah, so other than that, guys, that's all I got for you. Ishimoku clouds, I mean, I don't use them to trade. I know how they work. I just don't use them. It's like a lot of clutter on the chart. Some people love them, some people don't. You just got to kind of find out what works for you in the end. So anyways, guys, that's all I got for you. All the links, join our private group, things like that, all in the description of the video below. So make sure to check that out before you go. And then if not, I will see you guys all tomorrow morning for another live video. Other than that, take care, stay green, don't get emotional, don't get FOMO, and today should be a good day. Take care. Peace.